Hello, year two. This is Tuesday's guided reading lesson, and today we're starting a new book of animal adventure stories. This book is called Clever Monkey. Now, if you want to go and read the first part for yourself, it's attached to the homework tab. But if you'd like to hear me read it, I will do that now, and then we'll talk through the questions that you need to answer afterwards. So, as said, this book is called Clever Monkey. Let's have a look. Chapter 1 is called The Lost Keys. My name is Sandy Longtail. I live with my mum and dad and Jem, my sister, at Monkeyland Safari Park, home of the most intelligent monkeys in the whole world. It's a nice place to live. Trouble is, nothing much ever happens here. Then one day, exciting news reached my tree. The head keeper, Mr. Otterbank, had lost his big bunch of keys, and a monkey had found them. An urgent meeting was called about it. The meeting was held that night at the tree of Milton Grizzlefur, the cleverest monkey in all of Monkeyland. He doesn't look clever though. That's because he spends all day in a tire hanging from an old tree. I say it looks like he's fast asleep. No, says Mum, not asleep. Milton Grizzlefur is thinking. We all stood waiting for Milton Grizzlefur to wake up, to stop thinking. At last he opened one yellow eye. Ah, yes, as I was saying, he said, his grey whiskers looking a bit like a human's beard. You weren't saying anything at all, I thought, but I kept quiet about it. The keys, continued Milton Grizzlefur, and what to do with them. Of course we shall give them back, but the question is, do we do it at once, or shall we have a little fun with them first? His tire spun him round the wrong way. This gave me and the other monkeys time to think. We all knew what Milton Grizzlefur was getting at. It was the dearest wish of every monkey there to see the world outside Monkeyland. We knew there was a lot to see. Nearly every night, Milton Grizzlefur read out the most interesting bits from a newspaper rescued from the rubbish bin. But although we had learnt many things about the world, it was not the same as seeing it with our own eyes. By the time the tire had turned him back again, most monkeys had made up their mind. Dad cleared his throat. Before we give Mr. Otterbank his keys back, I should like to see what lies beyond the big wire fence, he said. For one night, I should like my freedom. Monkey heads all around nodded in agreement. Oh, look, mine was nodding with them. But won't we need a disguise, called Tonto Grib, the big ginger monkey. The humans will get nervous if they see a band of monkeys on the loose. That's true, added Mum. It wouldn't be fair to get Mr. Otterbank into trouble. Ah, said Milton Grizzlefur, I've already thought of that. Anyone who wants to go on a little adventure, raise your paw. And of course, everybody did. Good, then follow me. And the next chapter is called Milton Grizzlefur's Plan. Milton Grizzlefur climbed down his tree, and because he was so old, he climbed slowly. He walked slowly too, stopping now and again to sniff the air. I wish he'd get a move on, said Jem. Where do you think he's taking us? How do I know, Baboon Face? It looks like Mr. Otterbank's house. And so it turned out to be. We all stood at the wire gate leading into Mr. Otterbank's garden. The house was already dark. Mr. Otterbank went to bed at sundown and got up again at sunrise. Milton Grizzlefur said, I have been looking at Mr. Otterbank's keys. This one, for example, will open the gate. Here. Click. He had opened it, and before we knew it, we'd followed him into Mr. Otterbank's garden. This one will open Mr. Otterbank's front door, Milton Grizzlefur went on, holding up a different key. How did Mr. Otterbank manage to lock it then? Asked Stanley Woolback, looking puzzled. Mr. Otterbank has a spare set of keys, Milton Grizzlefur explained. Mum raised her paw to ask another question. Why do we need to get into Mr. Otterbank's house at all? Dear Mrs. Longtail, said Milton Grizzlefur, we need to borrow some human clothes. Only for the night, you understand. We need the clothes for Mr. Otterbank, Mrs. Otterbank, and both their children. Wow, I thought, I get to wear trousers. Now, continued Milton Grizzlefur, I need a couple of volunteers willing to be our burglars, so to speak. I was so excited, I jumped up in the air, and when I came down, I landed on Dad's tail. Then he jumped up in the air. He jumped in surprise. Milton Grizzlefur thought we were volunteering. Well done, Otis and Sunday. In you go. But, poor Dad, he was still butting as we were pushed through Mr. Otterbank's door and into his hallway. Good luck, said Milton Grizzlefur. And that is where we're going to pause with Dad and Sandy venturing into Mr. Otterbank's house. And we'll carry that story on for the rest of the week. We'll read part 2 tomorrow. For now, shall we have a look at today's questions that you need to answer? So, as always, these questions, all the answers are in the book that we've just read. So have a look carefully for them. Make sure you're answering them in fully, especially the ones that say things like why. Make sure you're explaining your answers. So, number 1, where does Sandy Longtail live? What's the name of the safari park that they live in? 2, do you think Mr. Milton Grizzlefur is thinking or sleeping? Do you remember when he's in the tyre? And some people think he's thinking deeply. Some people think he's sleeping. Which one do you think and why? For number 3, why do you think the monkeys want to see the world outside their zoo? Why do they want to escape in the first place? For number 4, it's a true or false game. So for each sentence in this box over here, you need to write true or false. So read those carefully, see what you think. For number 5, you're doing some retrieval. You need to find page 13 and find and copy an adverb. Remember, adverbs normally end in ly. For number 6, why are the monkeys following Milton Grizzlefur? Why is he the leader? What is it about him that makes him able to boss the other monkeys around? For number 7, why does Milton Grizzlefur think that Sandy and Dad are volunteering to go into the house? What happened? Because they didn't want to, but what happened to make Milton think that they wanted to go in? Number 8 and number 9, how do you think Sandy feels when he goes into the house? And then number 9, why? How do you know that's how he's feeling? And then our extra challenge down at the bottom when you finish those questions is just, have you ever seen a monkey? And where was that and when? Maybe you've been to the zoo. Maybe you've even seen one in the wild in a different country. So you can tell us about that. Of course, if you've never seen a monkey, that's fine too. All right, so that is your guided reading for today. I hope you like the story. As I said, we're going to carry it on tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Right, I will leave it there. See you later. Bye-bye.